Welcome to Film and Page. I'm Dominic, and in this video I'm going to be talking about Bram Stokers' Dracula, specifically the Barnes & Noble's leather-bound edition. So for a long time I've wanted a really nice version of Bram Stokers' Dracula, and there was one on the Folio website a long time ago that I never got around to getting, and it went out of print. It's not available on their website anymore. They did come out with another version of Dracula for the Folio Society, but it's one of their high-end books and it's really expensive, and it was limited to a few numbers of copies, so I just couldn't get it. It was impossible. And then I discovered this one by Barnes & Nobles, and how I discovered this book was through a YouTube channel called Foolish Fish, and he does all these book reviews, and he has a big collection of these leather-bound editions of these books. So I watched the one he did of Dracula, and as soon as I watched that video, I decided I really want to have this book. So I finally got around to getting it. So I have two other versions of Dracula besides this one. So the other version I have is the illustrated Dracula, and all the illustrations in the book are from Jay Lee. So I did a review of that one last Halloween, and in that one I took a look at the book, but I also reviewed the story because I had read the book and it was my first time reading Dracula, so I did a review of the story inside the book and just took a look at the book itself, which I'm not going to be doing that obviously with the Barnes & Noble's edition because I already read it, and so my book review is already up. Now the other version I have of Dracula is this version here, and this is one I picked up at I believe Value Village, and this is an old Scholastic paperback version of Dracula. Now I picked it up just because I thought the cover looked really cool. So these are the three versions of Dracula I have. So if you haven't read Dracula, all I can say is if you're a fan of horror, or you're a fan of the old Universal monster movies, or you have any interest in Dracula at all and you haven't read this book, you really have to read it. It is a must read. It's really good. So that's all I'm going to say about the story part of it. So let's take a closer look at this Barnes & Noble special leather-bound edition of Dracula. So the cover is actually really, really nice. And what's interesting is the version that I seen that basically sold me on this book, that was done by Foolish Fish, is the red on his version is very, very faint. It's almost like grayish. And there's, I guess, two versions of this book. One where the red is very faint and it's hard to see, and one where the red is much more bright. So on my version, on the video here, you can easily see the red. There's no trouble seeing it at all. It pops out quite a bit. So the version I have has the more vibrant red color. And here's the back, and all this is like silver, like almost like a... It looks silver in the video, but it's actually more of a really light gold color. It's like a silvery gold. But you got Dracula's castle on the back there and stuff like that, and it's a really nice looking cover. Take a look at the spine. The spine is really nice. You got the design of Dracula's coffin there with the bat, and you got more of the red and the silvery gold. And the page edges of the book, it's done in silver, which looks nice, but I actually think this would actually look a lot nicer if they did the page edges in some kind of like metallic red or something, or black. So I'll take a look inside the book. So inside the book, it's got these red designed end papers. Look pretty nice. They're nice, but I actually would have preferred if there was some kind of illustration or something in here than just this kind of like generic looking design, but that's minor nitpick. And then at the back of the book, you have the same kind of design. Now looking closer inside the book here, kind of got this black end paper. It's kind of cool. Now the thing about this book is it actually has more than just Dracula in it. It's Dracula and other stories. So you have Dracula, you have the Jewel of 7 Stars, you have the Lair of the White Worm, which I believe that's another vampire story. And then you got Dracula's Guest and Other Stories. So you actually have a few stories in this book. And like most of the Barnes & Noble leather-bound editions, it has this black bookmarker. That looks really nice. And it has these little chapter markers here at the end. Now the only complaint I have about these books is the Barnes & Nobles is the paper feels thin. Like you can see right through it. You can see the text on the other side. And that's actually something I've heard other people complain about when it comes to the Barnes & Noble books. So that's a look at the Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition of Bram Stokers' Dracula and Other Horror Classics. So this book, I have to say, it looks gorgeous on the bookshelf, and I have no complaints with the quality. Now, the quality compared to the folio books are much more high-end quality, but they are more expensive. If you don't want to fork out all the money for those books, definitely the Barnes & Noble ones, they're a lot lower price point, and they look really nice on the bookshelf. The spines look just phenomenal on the bookshelf. I'm really glad I bought this. And as for the copy, this copy I have, no complaints. There's been like nothing with the spine or anything like that. The book came in really nice condition. The only thing that I wish, though, is that all the books on their website were available for people outside of the USA to order. And then they straighten out their ordering system so that you knew ahead of time before you put the book in your cart if it would ship to your country or not. Because the Foundation Trilogy leather-bound edition that they have looks really, really nice, and I'd like to have that one as well. So that's everything I got to say in this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see you at the next one. I'd like to say thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all in helping this channel grow. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded.